early in March because that kind of when you need self-improvement, you need to improve self. And the typical pathway that there was before the Workplace Foundational Skills Program in upskilling was you going to acquire an MBA, or when they say, oh, you should upskill, you should do more for yourself. After your BSc, go and do something more. The typical pathway was for you to go on the MSc route. After MSc, they will look at you again, say, okay, maybe you go and go on PGD, PhD, all the whatever, right? That is what it used to be. So when she sent me a message on Instagram in March, after watching pre-WFS, I was like, oh, wow. Like it was like I was seeing myself from a couple of years before that, which led me to create the Skill for Work Academy. So without further ado, welcome our guest for today, who is Blessing Aifua. Blessing, please unmute yourself, and a warm welcome to you.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening. How are you
I'm
doing?
very fine, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
I'm very fine, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you. And you're looking so pretty this evening.
Thank you
very
much.
See you. So, Blessing, I was just, trying to tell them a quick background about how we technically met. Let me put it that, or we met ourselves and all that, and how I just saw like an older version of myself, or like a younger version of myself with those messages that you sent to me. But before we go right into it, I'd like for you to quickly give a background about who you are, what you do, what you currently do, and how you even came about the Skilled for Work Academy. Then we can go into the rounds of questions. So over to you, Blessing.
Okay, I am Blessing Osagi Aifua. And I'm currently an administrative professional at Human Training Consultants, and also at African Missions Community Outreach and Support. I've worked in various sectors, including education. I worked in the oil and gas for a few months. I worked in a bit different organizations before I finally settled for what I'm doing now. And I must say that before I met iTrain Africa, in one word, I was feeling rusty.
And how did you know us, as in the first place? Before you met us, you were feeling rusty. So,
okay.
Basically, I stumbled on iTrain Africa, as it were then.
Okay, what happened is, before I stumbled on iTrain Africa, those people who actually know me will say, oh, Blessing is very smart, Blessing is very smart. But even as smart as I am, I know that I have a problem that I could not spell out. So a few times before I spoke to you, I used to get this funny email from one iTrain Africa. I would just get the email and it's very lengthy. I cut it off. It's very lengthy. I cut it off. It's very lengthy. I cut it. I don't open it. When I just open, I see the length. I run away. But this particular day, I woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to go and check all this email from this particular iTrain Africa. I want to know why they are disturbing me. So that was how I actually stumbled on iTrain Africa. I read the first mail, the second mail, the third. I said, and I've been fasting and praying before that day. It got that bad. I have a good job. 2 jobs are that. So job is not my problem. I have a good job. But I was just feeling some way. So I started fasting and praying. God, please, can you just direct me? I'm really serious. I was fasting and praying for that. So after I read the mails, that was when I wrote to you. After I read the mails, then one of the mails directed me to a video. I checked and I said, no, who is this person? I wrote Dr. Aderisola Adepoju on Google. I checked a lot of places before I came to private chat you on Instagram. So I would say for me, that was a turning point.
Thank you so much. And I'm just smiling here because the last thing you said about, you used to receive our emails, you just, I beg, and everything. I'm sure as in God had a sense of humor, was just saying, continue to pray and fast. So your solution is in your inbox, but you refuse to read it or to actually pay attention to it. And I was just smiling. And that's why sometimes when we send emails and we see people don't open it, sometimes we're like, should I just stop educating via these emails? Let me just stop. As in, why would I write to 70,000 people? Only 5,000, only 9,000 people will read it. As in, and it takes actually like a whole lot of time to write those length of emails, to write, educative. It even takes research and a lot of energy on my part to write those emails, especially the ones I write myself. So, but sometimes I just feel like maybe it's only one person that will read this thing, that their lives will be saved today and everything. So when you just said, I just had to smile like, oh, that's really nice that at some point, as in one person will read it. And I've seen that happen a lot in our emails where somebody will be replying to an email we sent 2 months ago. And I'm like, what? Did you just read that email? And everything. And I realized that people would actually get the message at some point. So we need to keep doing the work. Now, you say you went on Google to search as in who I was, and I was like, that is someone like me. I do a lot of research when I'm trying to invest in anything. Like I'm going to go invest, I mean, including time, because I do not believe kind of person that, in fact, my time is the most important thing to me as it is right now. So whenever I want to invest in something, I always like, let me go and do my research and be sure it is right. So I like that you actually did that. So what happened after? Okay, after you now said, okay, oh, this person, you feel like this person gets, let me just say it inbox. And I remember the message was, before this time, as I just feel like I was going to do an MBA, I was just feeling really rusty. I was doing this, all that message that you sent me. Like after you watch the 3 free videos, you discovered your personality type, you realize, oh, this is exactly what I need. I didn't need an MBA yet. Then I remember then what you did was enroll in the WFS, which was the very first batch you started on April 1. So walk me through from your period of youth, watching the free video, sending me a message on Instagram, then getting into the academy. What was that journey like for you? And when you got into the academy, what was that journey like?
Okay, the journey at the academy was a very beautiful one, because for someone like me who lived with people in the academic sector, I lived with professors. And I saw them wrote articles. I saw them did so much every time. And my mom she did 2 masters and a PhD in my very presence. So I know what it is to be involved with academic work, because I have been involved, even if I was not the direct owner of the degree. So even if I was thinking to go and do a master's, I genuinely knew it wasn't my problem. That was why I stretched up till that time. So the point is, I know this thing is not my problem, because even the people who have it in my house, they have the same problem I have.
They have the same problem you do. I know, right? So it's about more education. Please go on.
Yeah. So I knew deep down my heart, I knew it wasn't what I needed. But in the absence of no other suggestion, the absence of no other solution, okay, let me go and try my own. See if their own did not work, maybe my own would work. So when I stumbled on you and checked the first free videos, it answered the questions in my heart. Because so many people like me that time had jobs that pays very good, but it gets to a point where you feel useless in the job, even if your employer might not know. Because yes, you are doing it. As at the time I was talking to you, I was the best with my employer. But I am the carrier of myself. I know myself. So I knew that there was a problem. So to me, it was really a deficiency before I met iTrain. On meeting iTrain, I was inspired to join the program because of my passion for personal growth. My passion for personal growth. And I knew I needed to acquire some other things that was beyond MSc or PhD. So that for me was an inspiration. I want to get better. I want to know the better versions of myself on a daily basis. So in that led me to the journey at iTrain. When I registered for the course, I remember that I paid part payment.
Yes, you did.
Not because I didn't have the money to pay it completely, But because when I was telling my mom, my second mom, who is a doctor, to say, look at what I saw, I met this page, I even gave her your name, go and check on her, she's this, she's that. She was like, you want to throw your money away? Blessing, all these things you are saying, does it exist? One human being will be giving all these things for this amount. It's not possible. Nobody can give you this for this amount you are
for this amount of money.
No, Blessing, this is not real. It's just looking magical. So we're arguing. She said, okay, do you know what? Maybe you should just put something you can lose and you will not feel bad. So that was why I paid half of it to say, okay, if I pay 70,000, if I lose 70,000, I wouldn't feel very bad. But from the video I had watched, it was beyond 70,000 already. So I wasn't.
Like the free video you had watched, you could say, okay, even if it's only this one I got, 70K is achieved.
Yeah, it was fine for me.
I know I paid for 70K free video.
Yes, it was fine for me. So to me, the academy actually reshaped my career track. It helped equip me with certain skills that I had, or certain skills I never had, and some I had but was not using very well. So the academy actually did that for me. And another thing is, I got to meet people. You know, there's a difference between working with people you know and just gathering yourself with strangers and assuming like you know them, or you have to live with them, coexist with them without troubles. So to me, the academy was a very good space for me, even if I already have a job that makes me work across 12 countries. My current job already works across 12 countries, but the skills I learned from this training, doctor, I don't know how to explain it in words. Do you know when I'm talking, everybody will keep quiet because Blessing is talking.
Blessing that knows it is now speaking and all of that. I'm just smiling. You know what made me smile is you said this particular thing you mentioned around who on earth will give you all this thing that they say is inside this course for this amount of money. We get that in our inbox all the time. Like, we respond to someone and say, oh, we are this particular workplace skills training is in it's at a subsidized fee. One woman replied to her, say, can I call you on video call? He said, because he said the woman's response was, I am more afraid because it is at a subsidized fee, because it doesn't tell me. Like, how can somebody give me this at this subsidized fee? If not that, they just want to collect my money and run away. Exactly. And I'm like, okay. I'll tell you, like, as in, the fact that we are subsidizing this training is actually even sometimes a disadvantage to us. People just don't see it. Like, they can't believe something good would go for that amount. In fact, in your case, you are going then to pay for the soft skill training, the technical skill training, and the internship, which is what made your half fee about 80,000 naira then. I remember clearly. That was the half fee. So half of that fee probably gave you access to the first, the Workplace Foundational Skills Program. And that was the one you got, and you're like, oh, wow, like all this. And people still keep saying it that, dog, I don't understand though, how you will give some people as in 77 lessons of not crap, as in I'm talking about logical curriculum that can actually transform your life, give you clarity first. Let's even start from there. Yeah. Then transform your skills, your digital skills, your project management skills, your life skills, even added something as scarce as design thinking in one of the lessons and everything. As in, people just finish and like, someone will come into our inbox and say, Doc, how can I thank you? Let me just, maybe send you something at your office, because they can't still believe that somebody gave them all that for how many dollars? Less than $50. So like many people, we have that challenge sometimes in actually convincing people in the DM that they will get their as a what you are getting is just a commitment, or rather what you are investing is a commitment. It is not the fee of the program. I keep telling people, I say, do you realize that somebody else is paying the remaining part for you people? It is not because the cost, like people last year paid us over $300 for the same thing we offered at less than $50 this year. And I just keep telling people, like, if you are not enrolling, I'm just smiling because there won't be any notice. the day we decide to say this subsidy is going up or something, there won't be any we'll just take it today. And trust me, it is still going to be valuable because people paid for it at that amount last year. And they still continually pray for us because of the impact and the transformation they have witnessed. Just like Blessing has said that it transformed your career. He said it transformed your career. Like you can't even explain it because right now in your place of work, when you are speaking, people are keeping quiet and looking at you like, hey, see this magical human being. How did you know all this? Like, how do you now know all this? Why do you work so efficiently? And that is, for me, probably because over 80% of the people that have come into the academy are not like they are professionals who are working in one way or the other, but they know they are rusty. But when you know you are rusty, the biggest challenge is not even knowing what you should acquire to fix that rustiness. So when most of them come like, so this is how I could have been doing this thing better at my office. This is how I could have used ChatGPT to save my life. This is how I could have done this thing in a better way. Like many of them is always like, like, Doc, where were you when I was doing all this nonsense I was doing before and everything like that? Now, which brings me to something. You said that it was a lot of lessons. It was a lot of knowledge. It was a lot of stuffs that were practicable and relatable to the work you are currently doing. 77 lessons. That is how many lessons are on this course. Yes. How did you manage? Because that is another challenge. Whenever professionals want to register, they say, how do I manage my time? How do I ensure that I'm going through the program and I'm still able to work? So I'm going to ask you, because I know, like you said, as at that time, you were even probably like 2 jobs. How did you arrange your schedule to be able to go through the academy? Because again, we have lessons, we have Google Classroom and all that, to go through the academy and still be able to deliver. Because I remember you were the person that came and said, Doc, on the 3rd week of the academy, you said, Doc, my boss dashed me my training. I remember I said, I did something so efficiently that my boss said, Blessing, what was that training you're on? How much is it? Take your money back. Like, you can imagine, that was the 3rd week.
Not just my money back, and interest.
And interest, as if you dash you money that was more than the money for the training.
Yeah.
I remember that I was said, Doc, my boss dashed me money because I was like unbelievable in the work I was now delivering. That was in week 3 you had not finished the program. That was week 3. Yes. What it meant is, as you were working, you were taking the program. Yes. Please help someone who is listening right now to say, this is how you can actually schedule your time to learn and still work. In fact, work efficiently that somebody's going to dash you money. So let's hear from you. Yeah.
Okay. In anything I do, the first thing is why. Why am I doing this thing? So when I answer the why, it gives me strength to do it even when I am weak. So particularly balancing my time between the Intense 77 lesson program and my other commitments was really challenging, I would say, because even at that time when I was doing that course, that program, apart from my jobs, I had an appointment, like I now had a church appointment to coordinate a small youth parish that was just open. So it was a lot for me to handle at that time, but I overcame this by simply creating a structured schedule. So I stayed disciplined and I leveraged on peer support, especially this issue of accountability partner. It's a game changer. It was a game changer for me. One thing, people who knows me know something about me. I can never be the reason why something went wrong. Never ever. That's not Blessing. No matter how stressful it is, I will never be the reason why it went wrong. So particularly, I didn't want to be the reason why this boy could not do, why my accountability partner could not do this or do that. Oh, we are supposed to discuss lesson 2 today. So why are we not discussing it? Because Blessing have not taken a lesson. I didn't want to be that person. So what I simply did was I had to draw a roster, I had to draw a calendar, how I would take my lessons. And I made sure I took it every day. No matter how bad it was, I made sure I took it every day. I went to buy earphones, I bought earpods just because of the lesson. Before that lesson, I hate earpods, I hate it. But I had to, because I realized, okay, it will help me to be able to use my hand to do something else while I am actually taking the lesson. So to me, being able to take 77 lessons, my both jobs and other activities I was running, and doing it very
Any other person can do it.
Was just two things. It was just two things. Why am I doing this thing? I answered the why. I knew why I wanted this. So if you know the reason why you want to do something, you have the strength to do it. It's that easy. And you just put down your schedules. It's as easy as that.
Thank you so much, Blessing. And there are three things I picked from how you manage to self-develop while you are working. Three things. The first and the why. The why is the most important reason. I always tell people, right now is the end of the year. Today, my team had an expense review meeting where we looked through our expenses and audited it, and we had to do budgeting of our expenses for next year. Was I tired? Or had I done a lot of work like earlier in the week? Yes. But here I am here smiling. Why? Because for me, for every time I come on here and someone is listening and that person's life potentially, like I most likely would change if they listen to me. Like that is my why. Like one more person I'm impacting on the world is my own why. Like that is a purpose. And I like the fact that you defined your why. Hey, babe, you are rusty on this job. Oh. So your why is the fact that you want to become that person who people look up to, who like you're not doing anyhow. Like you are actually like, you understand what you are doing. You are doing it in the best way you can. Your why. Now, the second tip I picked from you was you said you learned how to structure. In fact, one of the things we taught on WFS was structuring. If you remember that module
yes.
5 was structuring. And why did I have to include that module? Most often than not, when people become remote workers or they are handling multiple things that will let them succeed in their life, they start to drop the ball. They drop the ball. It's like they are dropping the ball in the academics, or they're dropping the ball at work, they're dropping the ball in the course or something like that, self-development. They are dropping the ball spiritually. But you said you were working, you are building your spiritual, organizing something for your youth parish, and you were taking it and submitting your lessons. In fact, in Blessing set, in batch 1, Blessing was one of our 3 top students at the academy then, as in we always have spotlights. She was one of the top 3 then. And I didn't even know she was in like 2 jobs at the time. I knew she had commitment, but I didn't even know it was that deep. And she came tops of her class at the time when she took the WFS. And the third thing I picked from you, you said your why, the structure is you are learning on the go. Because people have asked us, do I have to sit down to learn? And I'm like, do you realize that if you have to transit to work for 1 hour, or you are a guy that spends 1 hour in the bathroom when you are doing what you're doing in the morning, or you are someone that you just have 1 hour of, time that you are always in the kitchen cooking or something during the day, that 1 hour is enough for you to learn. 1 hour. And most people have 1 hour. Most people scroll through Instagram for 2 hours in a day. I say, can you just be out of your 2 hours Instagram time? Take 1 hour for your self-development. It is key. I tell people you cannot grow more than what you are. You are only as good as the knowledge in your head. Knowledge is the only thing that the returns on investment, you can never be short on it. Like your returns on investment on knowledge, it can never be short. It can never be less than 1. Like returns on investment, you must gain. Do you understand?
Yes.
I don't think there's any investment that has that much guarantee, right? And you are learning on the go. I'm sure it is not, okay, let me now come and sit down at the weekend and do my assignment. But at least the learning of it, you are learning on the go. You bought earpiece, you prepared. Hey, Blessing, thank you very much. You prepared to be able to make it work for yourself despite your busy schedule. And for that, if you're someone that you're listening, you're saying, I can't do this, I encourage you. We did something for this batch that is starting in February. People reached out to us and said, can you just give me something to start learning while we go on December break? And we said, no problem, if you pay for WFS now. In fact, I encourage you to pay for WFS and the workshop that is coming up on December 26th, because both of them right now is like 60% subsidy, which is not going to be after December 25, right? What I encourage people to do is use as a professional that is working, your December time, invest 3 hours daily or 2 hours daily in self-development. It is what I'm currently doing. Yesterday, I bought an ebook from something I know I want to personally develop myself in. The other month, I bought a particular course on something. I am going for another self-development program this comes Sunday. At the end of the year, I invest in my own personal development, myself. Like I always say, the day you stop learning is the day you start to die. Yes. So I always tell people, busy professionals, you see the end of the year, even if I want to go and do dirty December, please ensure you are upskilling in a way that when the new year comes, you see that promotion, that whatever it is you are seeking, you are actually bringing the capacity that will make them give you that whatever it is you are seeking, whether it is that remote job or that promotion in your current job or whatever. Make sure you are building capacity. You cannot be asking people to give you something, give me promotion, give me increase in pay, give me this thing, without bringing new things to the table. Like I always tell people, that is not how it works. Value is when you have additional value, then you can command additional pay. It is simple and short. People don't pay you because you've been the longest at the job. If somebody brings more value, they will pay that person more. Value is dependent on what you know. And I'm glad that Blessing is here as in speaking the same thing. Now, Blessing, enough of advice. Now let's go to success stories. I know the way me always say now, like even from the way your boss dashed you money, with 3 of this. So if you were to count, let me say 2 things, 3 things that you can say, oh, this is like, this is what changed. This is my success story in this area. This is another success story in this area. I would like to listen to you. I have listened to a lot inbox. Like I told my friend Amara one day, I said, Amara, Blessing's testimonies sometimes sound unreal
like a lie.
To me. Like when I say unreal, like how can one person get these multiple things from enrolling in with how much money? Do you understand? Like I was like, Amara, I've gotten used to Blessing chatting me almost every month or every other week and saying, oh, I did this CV for somebody and the person got a job. I did this. I'm like, are you serious? But I am the one consuming all that, your testimonies inbox. So I'd like for you to share some of them that you're willing to share with people that are listening right now, especially alumni or people that have not even enrolled. Why? People take courses and don't pay, they do not implement. So share your implementation and the success stories you've recorded from these implementations.
Okay. Firstly, I did like to say, even if everyone in this place knows, but I would like to say it again, that Doctor is the king of clarity. She's the king of clarity. Because, you see, personally, Doctor, you knew I took this course, I just wanted to get better. Mm-hmm. But when I took the course, it's now recalibrated my mindset. What I was now aiming for inside the course was now different from why I came into the course. It was a change. The whole story changed. And let me just say a few success stories that I have from this lesson. One, in less than 3 weeks of starting this lesson, there was something intense in my office, and there was no solution anyway. I was putting my trial and error together. Doctor said, you must get it. There is no reason why you cannot do it. You must do it. So I was putting everything together. I'll do this. It doesn't work. I'll try. So at the end of the day, I did it. And when we were going home, my director I was in my director's car. She wants to drop me at home. We're going, and she said, Blessing, say, can you tell me your new secret? Say, I don't understand you in this office again. Just spill. What is your secret? I said, secret, there's no secret anywhere. I'm taking a course. She was like, but you take courses regularly. I know that you're always, from one course to the other. I said, no, it's not like this one I'm taking now. And I tried to explain to her. I say, oh, Blessing, this is too much for that amount. So we laughed over it and we left. So she dropped me and went home. That night, she wrote back to me and said, Blessing, can you please send me the account number you want to transfer that money to? Which account number? I sent her my account number. She said I was going to pay the course in full. By the time the money came, it was beyond the course in full. So I called her back. She said, I might just want to do it. I was like, wow. So that was one. And my second mommy, a lot of people know that I have 2 mothers. My second mommy, she wants to apply for a job. And the job was going to close in 4 days from the day she told me. And the job is a very competitive job. She has a job with the government. She has a job with the government. And this particular job she was seeking for in the university was a very competitive job. So she told me about it and the people involved. I said, forget them. I said,
by the way, our second mommy has a PhD.
And she has a PhD. Yes, she has a PhD. She has two masters. She has two masters and a PhD. She has two masters and a PhD. So she just, because when I started the course, I used to brief her every evening. So when I when I finish the lesson for the day, I will call her, I will gist with her. This is what I learned today. This is what so we were on it together. So she said, when we now got to the point of CV, just a few days later, she came with the job trouble. She said, oh yeah, let's see if this your coach thing is working safe. So I was so confident, like, don't worry, you will get this job. She said, bless you. Do you know the people that are vying for this position? So I don't want it. It's you that is saying I should go and do it. But I was really sure she could get it. And we started it. I started to write resume. I wrote it and I screenshotted and sent to doctor.
Yeah, you sent the exact template I gave you on the WFS for the CV.
Like, so I sent it to doctor. And when she went to drop it at the university, she called me back that night and said, blessing. Said the person who collected the CV for her from her said, in all the ones we have they've collected, I'm not sure there is anyone that can even compete with this. Say, if it is by the resume, there's no resume that can compete with this. But let me keep my mouth shut. The guy said, but let me keep my mouth shut.
Wow.
So before the interview, I that just have a BSc, I prepared her for the interview. I did so much. I wrote a cover letter, prepared a statement of purpose.
This is how you do this. This is how you do that. As in, you will show up, you will tell, you will do this. That's self-selling model. I think that was model 6, self-selling model, yeah.
Yeah. Every single word in the resume, we dissected it. Okay, questions will come from here. So we did a lot of work. It took so much time. We did a lot of work, and she went for the interview, and she came back from the interview and said, blessing, I don't need prophecy to tell me I've gotten this job. He said the professors could not contain their joy. They've not interviewed anybody like me. And like, are you sure? Wow. Let's keep watching. So the thing took a lot of time. Like, the response was not coming. The thing was looking tight. And I kept telling her, don't worry, it's my coach. It's my coach, Leslie, don't worry. So to the glory of God, she got the job and she's resumed.
I remember, like, months after.
Yes, months after. Like, this was in June. We started it in June. She resumed this November. Like, she resumed November, the beginning of November. This particular job was very precious to me because it's a very political position. And if we didn't know anybody, it was like almost impossible. So that was when I realized, when doctor used to say, there are jobs in this country, it is you who does not have the skill for the job.
I tell people all the time, I do not compete on man, no man. I compete on merits. I always tell people that if you are getting to a position and they are saying, go and do lives on Facebook, I say, I cannot win because I don't know how to do those kind of things. But if you are telling me this thing, like, bring my head merit, I say you cannot beat me, or as in, because I am so certain of the things I know regarding things like that. And I think when I'm listening to you, Blessing, what made me really happy with what you are saying is, it is not just about the fact that you did a resume. The person she dropped the resume, it commended the resume and said there was no other resume that was good. As when she went for the interview, the professor told her the same thing, that no other person. I remember you said that. Even the professors asked her that, how did you get this resume? Or who did this resume for you? I remember you said that to me in inbox, like, who did this resume for you? And everything like that, the interview, because they were just so amazed at the way our resume looked and everything. For me, I think the fact that you kept telling her that don't worry, as in this thing, is the biggest takeaway from me here. The fact that I could transfer my confidence to you and you are transferring the confidence to her. Because it is easy to teach someone how to write resume, but it is not easy to make them believe that what I have taught them is going to work. Yes, and that is why you will see me on the course and say, it works. It has worked for me. I have taught over 400 professionals. Like, that resume was a bonus on that program. Like, that resume alone, I know, like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, if I'm working with clients one-on-one, I know how much that costs. It was a bonus on that program. The LinkedIn video was a bonus. The resume was a bonus. The cover letter was a bonus. Like that entire lesson was a bonus model. Like the entire lessons in that model was a bonus model. But I said, take this, go and work with it. And that is a challenge that some people have. Because again, I put it as a bonus on a course that costs less than $50. Yes. They can't believe that. When I tell people, I said, that is the same resume I used to get my job at Museum for the United Nations. They'll be like, maybe she has another version. I said, this is the cover letter I used to get my work at the Museum for the United Nations. I said, but I am telling you, this is what I have used. And I have taught other professionals who have gotten work and even relocated out of Nigeria. And they use the same thing. But because I am giving you for free, technically, because it's a bonus on that program, you think there is, oh, don't worry, there is one resume writer that is going to give me, I will pay 100,000. I'm just smiling. I said, okay, when you finish, your resume writer, because I have people on my program, on the GOP program, on my GOP program, that they enrolled for my GOP program to learn how to do resume and cover letter. And they have an HR agency. Like, you know, when people enroll on GOP, you can see their email. You will see their HR agency email. They are enrolling to learn my method. But they go and render that service to somebody and be telling the person, oh, and I'm just smiling like, hey, you know how many HR agencies I've seen enroll in my academy, in my this thing, to learn this thing and all. So Blessing, I like the fact that that was it. And I think you've mentioned two major wins as a cash gift from your boss on week 3. You've mentioned the one that really gladdens my heart, the one you did for your mommy. And will you like to share one more?
Another thing is last month, somebody gave me a job I'm still struggling with. Like we had a conversation. She was trying to solve a problem, and I told her, okay, just give me 3 days. I will come back with a solution. At the end of 3 days, she said, Blessing, we sorted out the issue eventually, and she said, can you please just be my executive assistant? I will pay you this much. As much as the money was fine, but I don't have this time. I don't have the energy. Like a lot of things, I'm doing too much already. So I was like, no, I don't have time. She said, no, I don't want you to work every day. If you can work 3 times a week, I will accept it. Please. She was begging me. I said, okay, you have to give me time to go and think about it. I was thinking, even if I knew the money was really captivating, but I didn't have the time. And every day she would write a message, don't forget, blah, blah, blah. So eventually I took it. It's been almost 2 months now. Even if it's stressful, but the joy I find doing it is the fact that a few months ago, this 2024, I was feeling rusty at my job. And a few months later, somebody is begging me to be their executive. I want you to be my executive assistant. Like this thing you have, 5 of my staffs cannot deliver it. How are you doing it? So one thing that really helped me to get to that point is I noticed something when I was taking the WFS course. I noticed something. A lot of people will come into my inbox. I'm saying this because we have people in this place who want to take these courses. Some persons will private chat me and say, oh, I can see you are doing very well in the group. You are this, you are that, you are submitting your assignment on time. Can you please help me? How do I go about it? I'll ask them, what is your schedule like? What do you do? What do you do? And I find that they don't even do half of what I do. Then I tell them, oh, this thing is possible. I've even offered to, when I was already in week 4, I had offered to go and start week 1 back from with somebody just to encourage the person. But guess what? These people, I used to see them in NSPPD morning prayers because I pray every morning too. I used to see them attend prayers every day. I used to see their name, but they don't have 1 hour to take the courses. So one thing that I really see is some people will not see this course as I see it because they were not invested in it as I was invested in it. That's one thing I really saw. Because
people want to pray their way out of poverty.
Yes. So I'm saying this here. I'm saying this here because some of us here, we enroll for a course and after 2 weeks or 1 week, we are weak. We cannot continue. But we attend morning prayer every day. It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So if you intend to say, oh, I want to grow, this is the reason why I'm doing this. Oh, or I listened to this person speak and it wasn't sounding so real. I want to see how she did it, or how I can even do it better than her. Then you have to hold firm to why you are doing it and do it till the very last. Better at the end of a thing than the beginning. So I started as somebody who was rusty, and now I'm contemplating needing a job, taking a job or not. I also told the doctor that I tried to write, as when I just finished the project management course, I was making efforts, I made efforts to apply for internship position myself, even if I had paid for the internship. I wanted to see if this magic that I'm helping people create, if I can do it myself.
If you can do it yourself.
Yeah, I'm very practical. So I did do it. And for the first time since I've been using LinkedIn, they scheduled interview for me.
I remember you shared that with me, but I said, Doc, me, like I actually did, and it's like used what you said on this thing, went on LinkedIn, did this thing, like a US company, I remember. I just, when I tell people that my inbox is full from testimonies from Blessing.
I was so shocked. Doctor, I've applied for more than 500 jobs on LinkedIn some years before now. Yes.
I'm joking.
I'm not joking. Like, it's not 1 month, it's not, but for a long time, since I've been applying, I've applied for numerous jobs. I've applied for 10 jobs in one day, 15 jobs. Well, you see that particular one, the way and it was a company in the US, they cut so fast, they were wanting, but at the end of the day, I didn't take that internship position that I vied for, because that time we were trying to reach the end of the office year in my office.
I remember you said,
it's not possible for me. It's not that I really needed that. I just wanted to test run it.
Yeah.
I wanted to test run the procedure. That's all.
I remember you said, Doc.
So that's it.
Actually, did not have the time. I wanted to test it.
I just wanted to test run it. And another thing this course has helped me also achieve is, you see, these lessons are not just for people who are in the professional space or people. No, they are for people. Market women need it as far as you can read and write.
Right.
Because personally, when I took content creation, if there's anything I hate to do, I hate to see my face in the media. I don't do social media. You will not see me post any picture anywhere.
That was part of the thing you first told me, that I said, I want to take this thing, but I don't like this thing, social media.
Social media is not a part of my life. Some people just call my WhatsApp, it rings, and they say, oh, I thought you've thrown the number away, it's still working. I said, yes. But the reason why I took that lesson, doctor, I must tell you, after what I saw in FSWU, I said, everything that comes from doctor's table, I will take it. Even as I'm talking now, I enrolled for product design that I have not taken. I just realized that, okay, I really don't like social media, but I could actually get an experience from it that will be useful in the future, even if I don't want my face anywhere. Guess what? At the end of that lesson, doctor, I've been able to revamp my family's business. I'm working on so much underneath. So much is going on because after I finished taking the course, I realized that, oh, my mom had traded this business all her life, even before I was born. She was successful with it. That's why she could send children to the university and do all of this. But the business is making money, but it's not getting the kind of recognition it's supposed to. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's not scaling.
So I now sat down and said, it doesn't have to be my face that will come out in this business, but that my money for content creation should not go to waste. So I've been doing so much, had to register the business properly. I've done so much with that business just by taking your course. Just by taking your course. In fact, by the time I came home recently and when I started to talk to my sister, oh, this is what you do, this is what you do. By the time I drew my sister's business plan for her, she was shocked. Say, are you that have never traded market? Where did you get all this from? Say, how did you learn all this? She was shocked because she's been running business for a while. My immediate younger sister, she's been running business for over 11 years since she was a child. She's been running business since 15, thereabout. But she was like, how come you have all this experience? I say, it's courses I'm taking. If I'm paying money for the courses, you too should be progressing with it. So the lesson has really done so much for me. And then apart from that, one big thing I could tell you that I got from registering for your courses was it helped me re-identify myself. That was the biggest thing
I agree with you. I agree. I always tell people, like, I feel my biggest takeaway or my biggest gifts to people is in self-discovery. That's my biggest gift on online program. I said, because with the gift of self-discovery, people can fly. Like, there is no limitation. I try not to talk about that outside when we are marketing, because we are going to start sounding like aspire to perspire kind of, discover yourself. Like, it will look like, but I always tell people, I don't do aspire to perspire, let it motivate you. I give you a scientifically proven method to that self-discovery that if Blessing uses it, she will figure it out. If I use it, there is nothing like it is a scientifically proven method. If you do this, you are going to be able to achieve this. Tosi has some more questions for you. Tosi, I'm going to let you, I think you have 2 more questions to ask Blessing before we allow people then to ask us questions. Oluwatosin.
Thank you, Ma. Wow, I think it's been an amazing session. I've been wowed. I've been really well. Blessing. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your story with us and your success story and everything. We really, really appreciate that. But before we run off with the program, I would like for you to give us give your own advice for those who are currently a student right now and those that are aspiring to get into the academy. What take away to them in this session?
Okay, the one thing I have to say is the biggest investment you can ever do is to invest in knowledge. When you buy a plot of land today, they can grab it from you tomorrow. You build a house today, the government can decide to destroy it and say they want to put road or gutter in that place. You buy a car today, it can get knocked tomorrow, it can get burnt tomorrow. In fact, something can happen to your business, but there's something that will not die. There is something that will never diminish. There is something that will not spoil. It's the knowledge you have. No matter what happens to you, your head, they cannot take your brain away from your head. It's not possible. So one thing I want to encourage people to do is to please learn to invest in themselves. Because I don't know why people can use iPhone 11 and cannot offer to pay 150,000 for a course. Why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Because at the end of the day, you are just beautiful or handsome with no brain. And before I took doctor's course, one thing I want to say, I used to believe that some people are just born intelligent. Yes. I used to.
Developed.
I used to think that some people are just born intelligent. Why some people, no matter the effort they make, they can never know it. It's a lie. That's not true. That's not true. Continuous learning is what makes the difference. There is nobody that is dull. The only person that is dull is the person that has refused to invest in him or herself. As long as you can read and you can write, you are not dull. You choose to be. So if I want to advise anybody in this place tonight, I will tell and encourage people to please make efforts to invest in yourself. It's not so much. We buy new clothes from time to time. We buy new shoes from time to time. We wear wigs. They are expensive. I'm not saying we should not look good, but even in the process of looking, your brain should look better. So one thing I would tell anybody here is invest in yourself. Know what you want. Stay committed to it. Ask questions.
Ask
questions. See, if you don't...
You don't really like, they don't ask questions.
There are some things.
Yes. But that's key, asking questions.
Some things are not as difficult as you think.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I want to also encourage people is cultivate the habit of researching. It's very good.
Yes, now, you remember on WFS, in the first one or two modules, people are bombarding us with questions on Telegram. By module 3, it stops. You know why? That was the module I talked about research. I said, do not ask me a question you can ask Google. You buy the habit of researching.
Now my Google is my friend. Like I always say, it's actually not my friend. I see Google as my friend because before I had gone to my husband, well, what's that thing there? That I don't do that anymore.
No,
because it just
you don't.
Dr. Adejola do now. Dr. Adejola will say, grab your phone and ask. Google is your friend. So it makes that it makes you become intelligent actually, because you don't need to ask all those questions. You can ask people.
It's very true. Personally, doctor, after the courses, I now have a personal relationship with ChatGPT. Like we speak every day. So by the end of the day, before I go to bed, I ask ChatGPT, is there anything you think happened today you want me to know about? What happened around the world? So I sit in I do that every night. Before I go to bed, I ask, because I've given ChatGPT a name, we've been talking like friends. So every night before I go to bed, I drop, once I say good evening, say, oh, you are coming to know what happened today. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It will be your personal assistant.
So at the end of the day, there's nothing, most of the time, I don't hear anything and it's strange to me again. It's very difficult for me to hear something and it's strange. It's very difficult. And lastly, if I want to advise somebody in this place tonight, I would like to tell us to please, the learning process might be challenging, but I want you to understand that every lesson is a stepping stone.
I agree.
Every lesson is a stepping stone. When I started WFS, by week 2, I was thinking that I've learned. But by week 4, but you see, by the last week. So when I now started project management, I was looking blank again, because it's not like I was looking blank because I was not having to deal with things I know nothing about. So I realized that when I first started, it was difficult, but as much as I was committed to it, it became very good to me till today. So I must tell everybody here tonight, the learning process might look challenging, might be difficult, but every lesson is a stepping stone. Every lesson is a stepping stone.
Thank you for that. Before we go on a final question or ask about your final thoughts, I would like to ask our audience, if you have any question, you can use the raise hand button or you type your question in the chat so we can quickly go through your questions and answer them appropriately before we go. So if you are here, you have any question concerning our programs or any question you would like to ask, you would like to give clarity on anything, quickly drop in the chat box or you raise your hand. When you go to the reaction button, you click on the reaction button, you will see raise hand. You click on raise hand, so you have your hands raised so we can call you later to ask your question. And then back to you, the lesson.
I've unmuted Rachel.
Okay, your final thoughts, Blessing. You have said a lot here, and I know that our audience must have taken it.
There's someone who's unmuted already, so let's take the questions before Blessing's final thoughts, please.
All right, okay.
You said Rachel Onifade already. Please go ahead, Rachel Onifade.
All right.
Let's take for the final question. Rachel, please go ahead. Rachel, you're unmuted, Rachel. You've muted yourself already. Okay, unmute yourself again, please, Rachel Onifade.
Okay, I think I'm on now.
Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Zelm, everything. Let me start my video. Everywhere is dark. I'm in the room. Thank you. I got in very, very late. I'm Dr. Olufade Rachel. I'm a doctor of physiotherapy.
Wow.
I think I got a message sometimes ago. I wanted to pay. I got I was weak again. I went back. I was like, would I have time to participate in this program? It's a whole 6 weeks program, but I think with the little I got in late, maybe like after 7. They've already started before I came in. I went to pick my children from school, so from work to school. So the challenge I have now is the time, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I know it's going to be challenging because when it comes to my e-learning, I know I don't have it. I don't have, my children are much more good than me. You know, in medical school, we are not trained how to, to do all those things. Even administrative, we are not taught. So when I came across that program, because I know I need to hone my anything that has to do with computer, my children, that they'll put you through. Mommy, why are you doing like this? To even all the system is wahala for me. We were disk, or what did they say? It's not the software like you type on computer and all that. So I'm really, I know I'm really a rust in that part. I need to hone my I need to really do a whole lot of work. But the problem I have now is this 6 weeks, the whole 6 weeks. Because I know that the first, second week, it's going to be tough, very tough. Combining seeing patients and having classes, children from school, and it's 3 to 5. Going through, in fact, since Monday, I've been going. I wanted to pay on Monday, but I just told myself, will I be able to? I now noticed that there is going to be a meeting or something like the alumnus, the alumni meeting, that an alumnus is coming and all. Okay, I'm going to try and see. Let me tune in so that I can learn one or two things
from the person. Question.
In fact, doing this, you're muting my phone. He told my daughter, Mommy, is this now? Try this one. I don't. What I use my phone for is to answer pick calls, send text message, WhatsApp calls. That's practically all. Okay, maybe there is a patient that really need to get some information about the patient, to remind yourself of what you learned in medical school and all that. So I just, okay, let me quickly, type this and all that. Okay, gives me kind of information, like what you needed to know at that particular time. Somebody that's trained for close to 20 years now, so there's no how everything will not be at your beck and call like it was back then. So you need something to remind you. So that's basically what I do with my phone. My laptop is rusting somewhere. So I know the program will be good for me. It's just the time and all that. So
Blessing, do you want to respond to Dr. Rachel?
Yes, I did like to say something about that.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Madam Blessing. Right?
Okay. Okay, I would like to say for the timing, it's not as difficult as you see it, because what is most important is, why do you want to take the lesson? That is the most important question. If I took the lessons a few months ago, even when I had 2 jobs, so it's not because I was looking for a job I took the lessons. I had 2 jobs and other commitments ongoing. But I took the lessons simply because I felt rusty. That was the exact language I used for doctor when I was talking.
Yeah, that was exactly what I said. I feel rusty.
I said, Doctor, I feel rusty. And I'm saying this because even after I finished,
so definitely she didn't hear you when you mentioned it at the beginning of this meeting.
Yeah.
So even after I finished the course, I'm saying this because even my mom too, who is a doctor too, she's a PhD doctor and she's working She says the same thing. Oh, computer is not for old people. Computer is not for this. This is not for that.
You're not trained with that. You are not.
But from my experience taking the lesson, she's good too now, because when I was taking the lesson, one thing I kept on doing is we discuss it every day. So when I'm in front of my computer, she's in front of her computer. Oh yeah, touch this, do this. And I told her one thing about this is consistency. So one thing you must know, doctor, is why do you want to do this? Oh, I feel rusty and I want to overcome this challenge of feeling rusty.
Dr. Aderiola should really go into, have your way into medical people, maybe that trained like 15, 20 years ago. I'm very sure a lot of them will be interested in this. This soft skill, or what did you say, foundational soft skill, something.
Workplace skills, foundational workplace skills. It may interest you to know that in the last batch, we had a 65-year-old retiree in that batch. For every batch, we have 57-year-old, 60-year-old retired people. There was a particular woman in the batch 5. She was on holiday in the US, in our children's place or something. She's retired. She was 62 or 65. I can't remember. Now, you know why I'm saying this? So it simply means if you are still in service, definitely you are not like as old as she is, because she's 65. Now, she joined this program, and I remember at the offboarding session of batch 5, which is on YouTube. If you go to our YouTube, for instance, search iTrain Africa, you will hear that woman. She spoke at the offboarding session. This woman said, our grandchildren were the ones that were saying, initially before she enrolled her, this is how you navigate, at least to even learn the thing on computer, on mobile. By the time she got to module 3, where we were teaching them Canva, how to design something, she was the one designing logo, letterhead for a brother-in-law in the US who was starting a business. I was just like, he said she was like, he said, Doc, I cannot believe I am really useful. He said, now, like, I'm the one teaching my grandchildren certain things for their assignments. Me, a retired old woman. And she was like, Doc, you just give my life like, how did she say, give my life a better substance? Like, at this, she kept saying, at this age, people just feel like we have finished our lives. There is nothing again. He said, but, you just become really useful to the people around me. I can do that. I go for them. I do this because there was a thing we called them Canva. She said, that all of them are saying, Grandma, how are you doing this? Why did I have to cite that example? If a grandchild or whatever had to put that through at the beginning on how to even, navigate to start learning, and by week 3, which is module 3, she had gotten to that stage that she was now the one doing this thing. It says something. But she said something to us that the other offboard. He said, I am a kind of person that I have the willingness to learn. That's what she said. She said, I have the willingness to learn. So far, there's someone that can help me break it down and teach.
That put her through.
I'm listening right now, that's probably, I don't want to say this myself, but I always tell people that I'm probably one of the best teachers you encounter out there. Not because I've taught at university.
Very true.
No, not because I taught at university, but I learned how to teach. Now, I have always known how to teach, gifted in that. But I'm the kind of person that no matter how gifted you are in something, there is still a science to it.
Yes.
So I basically understudied a World Bank master trainer on how to facilitate in the 21st century. She's Ghanaian, right? That was in 2019. Like when I say she's a World Bank master trainer, like the World Bank employs her to train trainers. So she's a World Bank master trainer. I basically learned how to deliver trainings that would keep adults seated, busy adults, in such a way that they would have motivation to finish it. I say, forget my natural gift, forget my experience in teaching at university. I'm talking about I had to then put in extra to ensure that, because I know we are all busy. We are adults. We are thinking of our child. What would that child eat today? What would I have to pick that child? So for me to create something that can ensure that an adult is not drifting away, Trust me, I put effort into that program. And that is why some people can't believe it. They enroll on the program and they are saying, how did you, why will you give this out? Like, that is just what they keep saying. Like, why will you dash it out? And that's what Blessing said, like, why will you dash it out? Because that is what it is. Why will you do so much work and just basically give? I said, the truth is, the investment is investment, because that is just what it is. Like, I feel like I'm that kind of person that I've done, when we started this social enterprise, I did quite a number of frees, and I said, you know what, I started this to impact people. So there is no point in somebody gaining access for free and they don't take the learning, they don't get impacted. So it is somebody who is ready to improve, to impact themselves, then we subsidize the price and give them at the price that they can get on and afford. That means they have skin in the game, they have investment in the game. And that is the only reason. Because again, I'm well-traveled. When I was going to start WFS, I looked at, there was no WFS in Nigeria. Let's even start from there. There is no WFS in Africa as it is right now. So I did some research internationally to see if there were programs that maybe even give me some clarity around how I could structure my program based on what I wanted to teach. And there was one program I saw that I liked the structure. Of course, they were not even teaching this content. The structure. That program in Canadian dollars was $1,650. $1,650. And I think how that program was structured, use it to structure WFS. Why am I mentioning structure to you? Anybody can sell you a course. That's just the truth. Anybody can sell you a course. I feel like WFS is one of those programs that it is not a course, it is a program. There are 6 elements to WFS that will help you go through it. One is the course, just one part of it is the course, the learning itself. The number 2 thing is we have quizzes in between the lessons. And they are not quizzes that you have to get 100% on. We don't even grade them in percentage because I don't believe that is it. The academy's focus is for you to learn the skill, not get the perfect mark. So there are quizzes. Now, Blessing talked about something. She said accountability. We do accountability pairing. We do accountability pairing on WFS. We pair you with people. You people meet, you support yourself on the journey. Accountability pairing is number 3 element of the program. Number 4 element we have is support, right? On Telegram, we have people come to ask their questions, like technical support, interactions, general for everybody that is on every batch. There's that technical support on Telegram. That's 4. Now, we have schedule. Then I say schedule. Because we know that you are busy. You may not even know which lesson to take per day. Even if, and we drip the course. When I say we drip the course, like we don't give you everything at once. We give you like week 1 and we make an announcement and say, this is what you're supposed to focus on in this week. You can decide to take it 1 hour every day. You can decide to combine it and say, I want to take 6 hours over the weekend, whatever works for you. But we now give you like, when we, let's say a quiz for, let's say we gave you module 2 this week to study on the lessons of module 2. We would tell, because we're not busy professionals, again, 80% of people that have taken WFS are busy professionals. It would shock you because we have the statistics. Busy professionals, even if it's supposed to be for people that are beginners, in quotes, but 80% are actually busy professionals and they have managed to go through the program. So you should tell you something. But I always tell people, like, you can't force a person who is not willing. The person has to be willing to put the commitment, because we have structured, we created a schedule. What is a schedule? Like we put what, like you have access to a Google Sheets that is telling you, today, do this lesson. Like we structured your learning time for you. Is it compulsory you follow it? No, but we created that schedule so that you can, if you can just, we'll tell you, if you can invest 1 hour in a day, following this schedule, you would not even know you are taking a program. But I will ask you, that 1 hour, can you find it from your kitchen time? Can you find it from your drive time? Does your drive time take you up to 1 hour? Like you would, if you can find that 1 hour time, is it the time you need to dress up in the morning? If you can find that 1 hour, you would go through the program without even knowing that you went through the program. And last element is, yeah, please go on.
I said that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Because the truth is, I'm a busy person. So I had to look for how to structure things. Like, so what did I teach on workplace foundational skills? I taught my life. That's what I did. I taught my life. I taught what I did exactly to ensure that I can achieve, I'm a high achiever in my career. And that is what I did on the WFS, from the clarity part to use of digital tools to use of, there is a module on the WFS that is called the structure module. Structure, that's the name of the module. It has a couple of lessons. And what is on structure module? How to structure your time. That is what is on structure module. From doing planners to to-do lists, like how you will break down your tasks so you are not overwhelmed. So when I tell people that I basically taught you how you will succeed in every area of work, I do not just mean office work. Mommy. There is a lady that completed WFS, and she said, Doc, the best blessing WFS did for me was my 9-year-old. I said, your 9-year-old, how? He said, I'm always screaming at my 9-year-old to do his chores every day. I'm always screaming, chasing, it's overwhelming me. He said, then I got to your structure model where you taught us how to create standard operating procedure for any task that we want to have structure in. Then I said, let me use this now on my son now. I just created a list of what he's supposed to do part-time in his day, and I gave him the SOP. He said, Doc, he's like a miracle worker. The 9-year-old, the 7, even the 2-year-old, I do not shout again. They do their activities. They say, Doc, who would have imagined that a course I took for personal development, I'm now using it for home structure? And I'm like, because this is my life. So I had to teach you. You cannot work remotely. I worked internationally remotely twice, right? You cannot work remotely and not have a structure plan. You would fail at it. So when I say I taught structure, which is like project management plan, not necessarily project management for only work, for your business, for even, like I just illustrated a 9-year-old. So all those elements, I always tell people that do not take WFS as a course. Take it as a skills development program that you use to improve every aspect of your life. The job and all the things you now get is a bonus, or if you decide to pursue it, is a bonus. That's what I think. I feel like that is a bonus on the program. When you now say, oh, well, let me use to apply for a job and all these things, it's a bonus. The life improvement itself is unrivaled, even if I say so myself. So I hope that helps.
It really will help. You know, everybody needs some measure of persuasion, but that doesn't mean that you can force a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink water. But this is enough. I've made my decision, and I know it's going to really help. We'll have to. Nothing good comes easy.
Yeah.
I know. Nothing good comes easy. So, but I want to ask: that is syllabus? Are we going to be given? Okay, an e-syllabus, right?
Oh, I'm guessing you are muted. Okay, so while she's the admin unmuted, I would like to respond to somebody's question. Basiro said, I love to grow myself, but I have SSC certificate. I don't know, maybe I can cope. How can I go with it? Basiro, you joined this meeting yourself, right? Did you join this Zoom meeting yourself? If you join this Zoom meeting yourself, it means you can get on the lesson. And why do I say that? Aisha is here. Aisha is my admin. She's in the comments. She's the host of this meeting. Did you hear me when I was saying, Aisha, please stop the live streaming of this thing, start the live streaming to YouTube, do this, do that. She's controlling this meeting. I tell everybody, a couple of months ago, I wrote Aisha's story in our email because I realized that, especially for women.
Soft skill, can you hear electronic learning, Connie? So Mowawa ni meeting and mo join one.
Let me mute okay. So great. So as I was saying, I wrote Aisha's story, and Aisha is someone that when she started learning with me, she had only, like, you have an SSC, she did not have nothing. She stopped at SS2. Why am I saying this? It is key that you know that I always tell people that, are you literate? Are you literate? Literacy means, can you read and write English? And in most parts of the world, GSS 3 is what helps you achieve literacy. In fact, for the younger generation right now, by the time they finish secondary school, by the time they finish primary school, they are literate. For the younger generation, because my son is in GSS 2 and is able to take my course. Do you understand? And understand it. Now, why am I saying it? Many people think that the program is like, it has absolutely nothing to do with a university degree. Nothing. Aisha works with me as my admin. It may interest you to know that Aisha taught, you know, the Ghanaian you saw in that video, that Ghanaian that was saying that I learned at the all blah blah blah. Aisha taught Ghanaian a lot of the things she knows. Why? Because Aisha started with me earlier than Ghanaian. By January, Aisha will be 4 years with me. And if I tell you the first day Aisha came as my sales girl at the fabric store. I remember in week 2, I called her. Aisha wanted to cry. She said, what is wrong with you? She said, Ma, I don't think I can learn all these things you are talking about. I said, I remember, and I told her, I said, the only way you can survive with me, because that time the program was still like physical. I said, the only way you can survive with me is if you ensure that you learn. You cannot survive with me if you don't learn. Everybody knows that you cannot survive with me if you don't learn. I said, but I am willing to teach you. You know, she has never powered on a laptop as at when she joined me. Never. Like powering on a laptop and, you know, power it on. So why am I saying this? This was in 4 years ago. That was 2021. Why am I saying this? If Aisha, that did not finish SS2, had never powered on a digital this thing, is now the one offering tech support here. Like, she's offering tech support. She's our tech admin. From you enrolling on WFS to you know, I told you when I joined this meeting, I said I did bookkeeping, that I was doing my expenses. From our January to December, categorization of expenses on Google Doc, on filing, on this thing. She's our tech and admin support. Right now, Aisha teaches. Last year, we had 2 master's degree holder at the OBU came to learn physically before we started the online version of this. She taught both of them. They had masters. One had an MBA from Zaria, and that one had a master's from University of Lagos. I did not talk about backyard school. Why do you think Aisha, and as when they were learning, they paid me 300,000. 300,000 for the same thing that I am offering at this price. Why am I saying this? If she could learn and teach people that paid 300K, and she was one teaching them, what do you think? But I always tell people, can you at least join a Zoom meeting? Can you at least press your phone when they send you a link? You know how to click a link and visit a link. If I send you a link right now, you know what to do. If they send you a WhatsApp link, you can click it and go and do what they. Can you read and write? Brian, if you can read and write, then you don't have a challenge. That is what I'm going to say to you. If you can read and write, you don't have a challenge. And you can ask Blessing. Blessing is still here. Tosin is here. Tosin is moderating this meeting, but she went through the WFS. I'm going to probably let them, you know, if they have anything extra, because I'm the creator of this thing. You may not want to believe me because I'm the creator, right? But there are people that are here who have gone through the program, right? And for Omota, I think Omota, the next batch is starting February. But if you want to start self-learning, there are people that we are giving access to the first 3 modules of the program because they say they want to use December to learn a few things, which includes digital skills. So we gave, but for you to do that, you pay and you send us an email and say, give me access to some modules to self-learn during the holiday. And give you access. And when we now start up on February 1, we then you know, we start generally again. Some people want to self-learn, like they want to start learning during the holiday. So I'm going to be quiet and let Tosin and Blessing answer any other questions we may have. Oluwatosin, are you muted? Where is she? She's still here. Oh, Oluwatosin, okay, you muted yourself. Okay. It's Blessings. Okay, Blessings here. Blessings not muted.
All right. So I was saying, I wanted to say that I also have a master's degree from the University of Lagos. Right now, and I'm interning. I started my journey with Skill for Work Academy started in August this year, and this is December. I'm trying to transition. I've been a class teacher for the past 6 years, so I'm trying to transition into the tech industry and all that. So I came across iTrain Africa just this August 2024, and this is December. I am interning. I'm hosting a live program. I've never done this before. This is my second time of doing this. iTrain Africa is making me do this because I am this kind of person. I hate camera. I hate to. I don't like seeing people. I'm an introvert. I'm especially an introvert. Let me put it that way. But I am doing this right now. So what am I trying to say? iTrain Africa is not somewhere you would come in contact with and remain the same. You know, I'm interning now as a community manager. And then so this program is, I keep saying it, everyone in Africa, no matter what you have done, you've done PhD, you've done WPhD, you still need WFS. You need WFS. So to continue with our book, I would just like Blessing to say our final thoughts before we round up the program.
Okay.
Blessing.
Okay, my final thoughts. For me, I've gotten so much knowledge from WFS. Then the question is, what next do I do with all of this knowledge I've gotten? One thing I did like to say is, especially for the person who was asking, oh, I'm SSC, I have SSC, can I do this course? You see, taking this program to me is not just because it's not for people, not just for people who are trying to get jobs, who are trying to transition, who are trying to, it's just a life skill. You just need it to, you just need it to be a part of what you know. It's just like a child learns how to walk, a child learns how to run. That is how you need it, because it will come in at the time when you least expected it. So for me, now I've completed 3 courses with iTrain Africa. I've done their FSW program. I did project management and content creation. So what's next? Now I currently work in an NGO, but I am looking forward to transition into project management space. No pressure. I'm not in a hurry. But that is one thing I'm looking forward to do, while I am also succeeding in what I am currently doing. So I also plan, one big thing I also plan to do in my career is to preach the gospel of
WFS.
Yeah, it's what I do. I preach it every day.
There's a question you may want to take in the comment section. I think there's an Adenike that is asking. She said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Would I be able to get a job online after the program? I don't know if she was here when you were talking about, what you did on LinkedIn and everything. So maybe you want to respond to her.
Okay, I mean, for somebody who is a stay-at-home mom and does not know if he or she can get a job, an online job after taking this program, the truth of the matter is, even before the end of the program, you see the version of you that you never knew existed. Let's start from there. And sometimes what we think we need is actually different from what we need. Sometimes what we think we need is actually different from what we need. It's just confusion that is making us think some things the way we think. So for me, I'll answer you that when you complete WFS religiously, you make sure to do, because one thing about the course is very practical. It's very, very practical. The support you get there is top notch. So if you follow it religiously, like I've said earlier on in this section, I was able to help myself get an internship position that I didn't want. I just tried it to see if what I learned in the course is working, if it will really work. And I did it, I succeeded. I used it to assist.
Can I chip in that I also did that? After I paid for the internship for iTrain Africa, I tried what I was taught. And through LinkedIn, I was called. I was like, I've been applying on LinkedIn since how many years? Nobody even sees me. I got because I just didn't take it because I already paid for internship for. So
I said it in this course. I said it here that before iTrain Africa for all these years, I've applied to more than 500 jobs on LinkedIn.
Yes. When you said that, I was laughing with him that I'll be in the same boat.
I've never gotten an email before. But after I took this course, I went to experiment with it. I got an interview. In fact, I was the one who said, oh, I can't handle this because I was just test running.
I told myself, is it juju? No be juju be that. Like
it's looking so magical. We are not just trying to sweet talk it. We are saying what it is. It is what it is. I'm saying what I experienced. Through the procedure from the course, I was able to assist my mom. She too got the job she needed. Last month, somebody offered me a job I did not ask for. He said, I like your reasoning IQ. Please, I need you in my space. So if you take the course well and you do your own part, you are willing to, because you know the funny thing, some persons took these courses and it really did not make impact in them, which is very painful to me. It did not make impact in them because they just, when you make an advertisement for something, when they listen, they think, oh, I think I need this thing, and they pay for it. But they are not committed to what it takes to really get what you want from the program. You understand? So what I would say is worth it. And if your intention is getting a job, I have tried it did work. My mom have used it did work. And Tosin here have used it did work. So, and I'm sure so many other persons have done so and it did work. So it's not rocket science, it is reality. It happens.
I would like to add to that, as I wanted you people to first speak. You know what I'd like to add to that? There's someone that worked with us after she finished WFS batch 3, Chineye, right? She did WFS, and that was what made us employer, right? And she left later because obviously she wanted to actually do product management. But why am I saying this? With what she learned on WFS skill, we employed her into that role of community management and everything like that. And why am I saying this? She's also somebody that she likes to work from home. Like she wanted to get something that she could do from home, not really go to an office. And that is just one person. If you go to probably our Google review, look for iTrain Africa on Google. Just type iTrain Africa. We have 100+ Google reviews. Just go there. What am I saying? You will see yourself in someone. Because there will be one person that will say, oh, there was a particular lady that she said she went for one interview a week before she came across us on Facebook, that she goofed there, that she now entered. She now said, she realized why she goofed in that particular interview. And on week 3, like she had not finished the program, she now got another of course, the module she learned on. Now, if there is one person's story I want you to listen to, it will be Ijeoma. Why do I particularly mention Ijeoma's story? Ijeoma was in batch 5. She finished November 13, a month ago. So see if you can find the link to our YouTube page. I want you to listen to Ijeoma's story. You know why I want you to listen to Ijeoma's story? Ijeoma is not a stay-at-home mom by choice. She's a stay-at-home mom right now by circumstance. How do I mean? Ijeoma is my client from 2-3 years ago. When I met her, career boss babe. When I met her, she paid for my one-on-one, my Global Opportunities Program for professionals, right? To build their personal brand and position on LinkedIn to attract global opportunities. She paid for that program one-on-one, not even the group version, she paid one-on-one, plenty money. Now, I just realized that after she did one assignment, she disappeared. I didn't see her again. On October 1, when WFS started, batch 5, then we did onboarding. Immediately I saw her in the Zoom session because our Zoom had the same picture that we used to design our LinkedIn profile then. I remember it was an orange Ankara shirt. I remember it was distinct. I said, Ijeoma, that my boss babe clients and everything like that. I said, oh, hi, Ijeoma, what are you doing here? She just said, hello. She didn't say anything. At the offboarding session, right. Ijeoma said, immediately I said, does anybody want to say that? She raised up her hand. I was wondering, okay, let us speak. Why did I mention Ijeoma to you? Ijeoma, and I said, Doc, can you remember this thing? That after our session, do you know what happened to me? I said, I gave birth, and less than 3 months after, I got into an accident and I became paralyzed. I said, As in, it was a live offboarding, November 13. You can find it on iTrain Africa YouTube. Why am I telling you Ijeoma's story? You may be a stay-at-home mom by choice. She became a stay-at-home mom by circumstance. Now, somebody that had enough money to pay me for a one-on-one then, she told the story to us that day on the November 30th. She said, Doc, I'd spent all my life savings on therapy, physiotherapy, so at least I could sit, I could, And Ijeoma is still in therapy. He said, so that when I kept reading your email about WFS, WFS, and she now said, that Ijeoma registered on September 30. We closed registration on September 28th, for you to understand. He said, I just said, okay. Then I kept seeing the email on my bed. I was like, I said, what would this thing do for me? I didn't even have the money. All the money she could get was for us, her mom or her husband. And those people were spending heavily on her physiotherapy because, again, she was still paralyzed. Now, but remember that she's an experienced person from her career. She was working in the NGO and all those things. So she had experience in her career. He said, but she did not know how to take her experience and offer it remotely because she was working on site. He said, when I now told my husband that, what do I even stand to do, Seth? How much is this woman calling this course? Can you give me this money? Let me enroll. You can list for yourself on YouTube. This is just what she said. And till date, Ijeoma's experience for me, for every time I tell myself that, why are you doing this, Wahala? You could as well just, like, if I take one job at an international job, hey, I know how much, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for every time I get tired, and I remember stories like this, I'm like, during one person's life is hanging on you, as it is, right? You don't even know who that person is. When Ijeoma told her story, I said, Darren, this is why you need to continue doing this, because I practically saved a life. She said, her husband gave her that money. She was that broke that she could not afford 37,625 as at the time. It's now 45,150 at the subsidized rate, right? She's paid. She did not even know what she was going to get from it because she didn't know how it was going to lead her to. She said, Doc, by week 3, when you taught us Canva, I said, wait, though. That when you started saying these are the things you could offer and everything, she now said, let her go and design a rate card. She used Canva, what I taught them Module 3, to design a rate card. She now reached out to one of our, people that she had done pro bono work for, that she would just advise them on NGO that, CEO, this one now that she's offering this, that she gave them the rate card. She used Canva to design in Module 3. That was week 3. She gave them the rate card. And I said, so she offers the service. Let her, they said, Doc, in the last 2 years of my life, I did not own a dime to my name. He said, Doc, for the first time in 2 years, I had 400K alerts in my account. I said, Doc, I couldn't believe it. I said, how much did I pay this woman for me to get a consulting? He said, Doc, she gave that testimony on November 30, which is a 6-week program, right? She said, Doc, as of this morning, one of the people I pitched to last week commissioned me, like, when they commissioned the contract, they gave me an advance fee of 800K to start the job. He said, Doc, that was the last I received today, November 30. He said, Doc, between that week 3 and week 6, when we were being onboarded, he said, Doc, I will not lie to you. I have made over 2 million naira from 3 or 4 different clients. He said, Doc, me that, even the money I used to enroll, they gave me. When Ijeoma talked about that on November 13 on Zoom, I was dumbfounded. I typically have a lot of words to say, but I was honestly dumbfounded. Because you're like, Doc, she said for the first time, he said, because one of the jobs she got was to make a 1-minute NGO video for a client to help them pitch for a grant or something. He said, Doc, they paid me 200,000 for a 1-minute video. He said, Doc, that was the first time in my life, as in since the last 2 years I got into an accident, that I sat up to actually do a video without support. He said that my husband is like really, really excited. Like, Ijeoma, you are coming back. Like, you are coming back. You know how you are coming back. He said, Doc, it was really difficult. A 3-month-old baby got into paralysis and everything like that. And now, he said, Doc, I cannot even think about my returns on investment. 37,622+ million is, I'm talking about the one I've made before I finish the course, not the one I will keep making. Every week since they finished on November 18, I'm on November 13, I go on LinkedIn, I see her and I smile. I see her and I smile. because I see what she's now doing on LinkedIn. If she had not told me a story that day, I wouldn't know. I would still imagine her as the Ijoma I met 2 years ago, career boss babe and everything. Why am I saying this? Any woman that is listening to this, you may not even enroll for WFS because of any other thing. Because I said, honestly, this is a social enterprise. I always say, but if you know you are in a situation that you need to save yourself from whatever it is you are saving yourself from, this is where you start. There is no, and I would say it anywhere, there is no other course that exists like WFS, because most courses just teach you skill. To say, teach this skill, and you're wondering, what do I do with it? Module 1 of our program is clarity model. We first teach you how to understand what you know, what you do with what you will learn. Then on module 6, after we now teach you all the things you're supposed to know, we now teach you how to sell it. We call it the self-selling model, meaning you now know what you know. Now take this bonus lesson and go and learn how to do LinkedIn starting, cover letter and all that, so that you can sell what you know to someone and sell it well and get a job with it. That is where you start. I have different women on my program, challenges. Ijoma is only just one of them. Some are widowed, some are in divorced, violent relationships. Do you know how many stories I heard? I can't even tell them. If they don't tell them publicly, I can't tell them. I can't tell them until they choose to say it publicly, like how Ijoma did. I can't tell their stories. But trust me, I think in batch 4, there was a lady that came and said, you saved me from depression. I was like kind of getting depressed and all that stuff. So like, that is just some. I can't even say it all. So please, that woman, I had to stay and talk about this, because a lot of women will say, hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have SSC. I don't have this. I don't have that. And we make ourselves believe that it is a limitation. I tell people, when I started working at UN Live, I was working from home in this seat right now. Working from home, 7 months. I gave birth on January 1. I started UN Live work on September 1. I was 7 months gone, technically. Do you understand? And I was working from home, earning nice thousands of dollars, doing what I don't have a certificate in. I was hired as a global program coordinator. I don't have a certificate in it. What I had to do that job was my entrepreneurship knowledge. Do you understand me? So please, whatever limitations you've told yourself, I don't know what it is. I did not finish going to school. I am a stay-at-home mom. Whatever limitations it is, workplace foundational skills is for everyone. You are working, you are not working. I have 17-year-olds who took the program. 17, like 17. They have not entered university and they started their own business with the knowledge on it and they are thriving. I have an 18-year-old who learned. After year 1, she used that break to do 2 months work, working remotely for an EdTech organization to earn money to get back to school. So I always tell people, I don't know what your limitation is. I do not know, and I do not really. So when people tell me this is why I cannot do it, I said, it is only in your mind. It's happening in your mind. It's not happening really. Because I will give you different people, 65-year-olds, 17-year-olds, no SSCE. Talk about anything. There are plenty that have taken this program with those limitations. So you only need to decide what you make of yourself going forward. You can't change your past, but you can change the future. And what helps you change the future is the amount of knowledge and information, the right one that you have. Thank you very much. Trusting, round of this meeting.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for that. And we've heard so much from our guest and from Dr. herself. And then I don't think anything should hold us back. Because anything that will hold us back, nothing can hold us back for what we want to achieve. It's only ourselves. The limitation we place on ourselves that can hold us back. And I think the link has been dropped in the chat session for if you want to enroll for the next one.
Did you drop the link to the workplace professional skills page? The www. Not just Seller, right? Okay,
no,
great.
No. Oh, okay.
Not okay. I mean the skills page itself, the www.itrainafrica.com workplace foundational skills.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Before we go, I don't know if you are aware that there's a program coming on, the workshop actually coming up on the 26th of December. It is a goal setting workshop. And I'm telling you, this is not just any other goal setting workshop. It is the goal setting workshop, because Dr. Adewintola herself will be taking that workshop. And you can, from our experience, you know that people used to take people out to take goal setting, have paid for that course. They are the ones that teach people how to do goal setting, but they have come to pay for our own goal setting so that they can learn more. So we put it together as a bundle, for as a kind of our end of the year gift for our members or for everyone. So the WFS program together with the workshop is coming up on the 26th of December. So it's a bundle, and you can have it at 50,000 naira, but there are about 50,530 something like. It's just a giveaway for everyone for at the end of the year gifts. I'll be dropping the link for you to read more on that goal setting, which is happening on the 26th of December. It's an online program, and it's going to take from 6 to 9 on the 26th of December. The recording will be available for you if you will not be able to make it live, but the recording will be available for you. Anything after the 25th, because people are already praying for this now, and then the seats are filling up.
20 plus people have enrolled in that workshop.
Yes. So the seats are filling up fast. So if you want to enroll, this is the right time for you to enroll for that program, because once the seats are filled up, then we will not be able to take again. It will go back to the original point of 30,000 naira.
32,000 to 50.
30,000 to 50.
Once the tickets are sold out, like we reach the maximum capacity, or whichever one comes first, because please, Tosin, clarify. Some people will be thinking, okay, so if they say it's December 26, I'll come and pay December 25. Guess what? It is either the ticket sells out first or December 25 comes, whichever one comes first. Okay. So should you go to the page and realize that the price is now 32,525, just know that the subsidized tickets are sold out, because right now it's a subsidized fee. And I always call it end of the year gifts. Why? Many people ask me, Doctor, how do you achieve success in all areas of your life? Like nothing is hanging, right? I think my friend asked me 3 years ago, Latifa, I can't forget, like Latifa now, I'm so proud of her. If you see on LinkedIn, her growth is crazy. And I said, Latifa, there's a technique to doing this thing now. Like I have a template, like there's a goal setting, you set your goals, you put KPIs, you do this. You're like, there's a science to setting goals. I say, yes, ma'am. Like you think you cut paper and paste it on wall and be dreaming, that's a car I want. Nothing will happen. Like nothing. I always tell people I don't do vision boarding. I will cut and paste with a Range Rover. I will cut and paste Ikoyi house in Lekki. But there is no proper breakdown on an Excel sheet showing you how you are going to achieve. I say you're just wishing. It's wishful thinking. So whenever people say they are setting goals, I always tell people, I'm setting smart goals. I'm breaking them down on how I'm going to achieve it. Simple. So that is what I teach in that goal setting workshop. I always tell people that. So if you know you struggle with setting goals in 7 areas of your life, from your relationship to your business, to your academics, to your spirituality, like you struggle in, maybe you don't struggle in setting goals. Maybe you're the person that will say, I will finish 4 Bibles in this year, I'll finish 4 Qurans. You don't struggle with saying it. But at the end of the year, you check and you have still not achieved it. Then you need to be in that space. Because I am that person that will tell you, okay, what is the goal? Let's break it down. This is by month 2. This is what you should have completed by month. Like that is how I imagine when people stare at their vision board of car on my phone. I stare at my Google sheet on Q1. This is where you should be. Like that is what I stare at, because that is a practical way to set goals. I know when I'm achieving it, I know when I'm not achieving it. So if you do not know how to do that, I encourage you to please come to the workshop with someone you love. People are paying for their parents, children, to come along with them. When you start to succeed, and you are succeeding alone in your circle, it is difficult. People don't get you. When you wake up and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot pick your call today. I can't pick your call until 2 p.m. And I say, are you that busy? I say, my dear, it is March 30. and I'm looking at my key one goals, the KPIs, and I'm not here, my dear, I'm going to do overnight. Like, people do not understand, because why? They don't have KPIs. They don't have timelines for their goals. They're only wishing it. So when you say you don't have time, they do not really understand that you don't have time, truly. They don't understand. But I am the kind of person that when I'm not achieving my goals, I know. Like, if I set a 2025 goal, by week 3 of January, I'll be telling you, I am 2 weeks behind on my goal in this particular area. And you're wondering, how am I that precise? Because I broke it down. I'm not wishing it. I broke it down. I give it away technically at the end of the year, but you must invest in it. I always say, I cannot give you a gift you don't want. What makes you want it? You put a token in it. For our alumni, which is what Tosin was talking about, when I say alumni, people that have taken our programs before, any of our programs before, or people that pay for the program now or before December 25, they get it at a subsidized fee of
5,375.
325 exactly. Then for non-alumni, it is also subsidized till December 25 at 10,750. Note, the moment it is 12/01 December 26, whether you're alumni or you are not alumni, you are paying 32,000 complete money, and trust me, it's still a giveaway. Because when I facilitate those kind of sessions, each participant will pay over 50,000. So let's be clear. So even at 32 something is a giveaway. But right now, it is at the 75% for our alumni. It is at the 60% subsidized for non-alumni that choose to say, I don't need a BFS. I don't want to pay for it. I just want to pay for the goal setting. It's still subsidized at 10,750 till December or till the tickets run out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Blessing, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you, everyone, for staying till the end of the program. Really appreciate you. And then I think there's another clarity session happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Please let me talk about that. You know, this one is an alumni spotlight session. An alumni spotlight session. I mean, now the WFS is a 60% subsidized program that is at 45,150, inclusive of that. 45,150. That is what it is as at today. And I keep saying that because we are subsidizing it. I cannot tell you that in January it's going to be the same thing. I cannot promise you that. Please take notes. Now, our clarity session, if you are here or you have a friend, what do we do in our clarity sessions? People come with their life problem. Seriously. On the 12th and 26th of the month, typically, I come live for 2 hours, that's 3 to 5 p.m. And people ask me questions about their career, what they should do next and things like that, what they should really be doing. It's a free session that I promise myself I will do for a while, as long as I can do it. Even if people pay me, that's like 200K or thereabout for 1 hour of my time to gain clarity. But I do that every other time. Why? I always tell people that I started accelerating in my success started accelerating when I gained clarity about where I'm going, right? And I always say, no matter how fast you go in the wrong direction, you cannot arrive at your destination. If your destination is Ibadan, and you now say, oh, I pick a Formula 1 car, a race car, you start racing towards Abeokuta, you will get there in record time, you get there early. But did you get to the destination you are going to know? So clarity before pace. Clarity before pace. I repeat it, clarity before pace. So please, if you know you have such questions, join us 3 p.m. West African time tomorrow. Invite your friends to come along. I will take questions in that session that has to do with how you advance your, even maybe just around our program. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Yes, well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Blessing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for the time. We are really appreciate that. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye.